And here we are, a lot of money and a lot of time later. Here's the build that we're going to be doing for the streaming PC setup with a little gaming mixed in. I'm a nerd, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not going to play a little bit of games on this thing. But we've got the Asus PA602 case, which is going to give us plenty of room for this 5080 NVIDIA graphics card. I'm going to be rocking the Asus Creator Pro Art motherboard just because it had really great reviews for all of the creator functionality that I'm looking for, all the extra ports, 10 gig Ethernet, and so forth. I have two Noctua fans. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need at least one more for exhaust out the top, but I'll see how the build comes together and I can always add those in later. We have the NH-D15 Noctua CPU cooler. For those that know Noctua, those are some of the best air-cooled CPU coolers, and they just came out with their G2 model, which is the predecessor to their air cooler, which has been around, I think, something like 10 years, 15 years, something like that. So great reviews on that so far. Very excited to use that. I didn't want to go with an AIO and have to worry about extra pumps and coolers and all this stuff that could potentially fail. The difference is minimal when it comes to like which cools more efficiently, and so I'd rather put my money into the air cooler. I have the Corsair Vengeance DDR5 memory. I have a Seasonic 1200 PSU. I almost said GPU again. This is all new for me still. I'm a Mac guy. And then I have the Blackmagic Decklink Duo, which is going to be the SDI inputs for my camera, which is going to go into one of the PCI spots. Oh, and the star of the show, obviously, besides the GPU, is the AMD Ryzen 9950X. Never built a PC before. I've been watching videos for years on how to build a PC, so I'm pretty excited to dive in and just see how we do. This is an investment. This is more than an investment that I actually wanted to make, to be truth be told, but I'm pretty excited to see how all of this comes together, and then obviously the different alternate revenue streams on top of just the videography and podcast stuff that I'll be able to do with the PC. The Mac has been phenomenal, and obviously you can do a lot of things that a Mac can do on a PC, or that you could do on a PC that on a Mac, but some of the bottlenecking and issues that I've been having are the software limitations of the Mac. The M1 chip has been phenomenal for video and photo editing, all my creative work, so I'll probably still be editing full-time on that, and then obviously trips that I go to different places, I'll always bring my Mac laptop with me, but this thing might give it a run for its money, especially paired with the 5080 graphics card. So let's get started. This is day 2 of the build. I've got the motherboard and the CPU cooler. RAM is inserted in the actual DIN slots. DIN, I don't know. The internet will let me know my incorrect terminology. I have taken out the 3 PCIe rear ports on the back of the case. This case is pretty dope, I gotta say. Never built a computer before, but so far this has been a really nice experience with this Asus case. It's been really nice. The Pro Art case. There's even like a little, I don't know if you can see it, you can't see it from there, but from this angle you can see it. There's even a little GPU holder for the end, so this way you don't get any GPU sag on the PCIe inputs, lanes, whatever you want to call them. So I just want to make sure, oh, that's how it goes. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna take the GPU out now. It's the 5080 from MSI. I'm very excited to utilize this guy in my workflow, in just anything that I decide to do with the PC, along with live streaming, a little bit of gaming. And this is pretty exciting because it's coming to fruition now. And now the motherboard's seated into the actual case, and now things are kind of taking shape, but also the most intimidating part for me, which is the connection of the wires. Like this has different IOs on the front of it, and they come out the bottom right here, and I'm trying to figure out where they're supposed to go into. I guess, actually, truth be told, I guess they go right there at the bottom of the motherboard. I'm gonna just quadruple check to make sure prior, but now that I'm looking at it, I guess that's why it's routed down to right here, so that would make the most sense. And then all of the actual cables for power throughout the unit came with the Seasonic power supply. Let's take the graphics card out. Look at that. First ever graphics card, first ever PC build. This is actually very exciting. It really is. This is gonna be really cool. I like the build. I have no RGB in this build because I wanted to focus on efficiency of the unit. Eventually, I will replace these Pro Art Asus fans in the front and the one exhaust fan in the rear with all Noctua fans. But for right now, I think this should be plenty. I have 2 other Noctua fans. I may order 1 more to get an exhaust vent out the top, but I want to see how the actual levels are prior to doing all of this. Let me cut the camera. Let me bring it around here. All right, bada bing, bada boom, we're here. Now, I have not tested this motherboard prior, so I don't know if it's gonna fit right out the gate or if it's gonna require any finagling. And oh yeah, this is intimidating. This is definitely intimidating. Okay, is it gonna fit? I don't know. I don't know if it's in there. Pause. No diddy. Quarter diddy. There it is. We have our first ever seated GPU. Love to see it. And it's not long enough for my little holder. Damn, that sucks. All right, well, fuck it. I thought it was gonna be longer. That literally fit perfectly. Yeah, it's in. Okay. Oh, this is so anxiety inducing because it's so expensive. That's crazy. I don't want to jiggle it around now. There's a lot of languages in here. Oh, am I supposed to just, oh, because it's toolless, right? Oh, okay. So is that it? Why do I not trust that? I feel like I should still put a screw in there. Let's unscrew that. Let's unscrew that. I feel like I should still put a screw in there. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. No, but that's the one, right? Is that holding it in? Oh, I'm so confused. Oh, I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed. Ugh, why isn't that clipping in? And this is like raised out. Why is that raised out? I don't like that. Is that good now? Oh, I still don't want to jiggle that. Jiggling that is not the move. Okay. All right, look what I just figured out. This moves up. Okay. I thought it just stayed in that fixed position. So that's good. I like that. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so let's do that. Let's keep that nice and vertically not challenged, like me when it comes to basketball playing and anything on the top rack. I'm pretty sure that because this is a toolless design, it's not meant to have this thing screwed in. Maybe not, right? They got me second guessing myself out here. I don't like that. This is not supposed to cover this, right? I feel like this is not supposed to be open like that. I feel like this is supposed to be open like this. And then because there's an extra space, this goes in like that, right? Maybe? Probably not? I don't know. Okay, so that's supposed to be like that. This is supposed to go in right here, I assume. Yeah, okay, yeah. And now it clamps down and we have the installed GP mother fluffing you. What an interesting thing to do.
This is,
Whoa, don't snap anything. Don't snap nothing. Okay, I think that's installed. Don't want this to hit the fans though. That's the one thing on this side. All right, so now that we got the GPU installed, to my knowledge, I'm gonna have to route the power cables and everything like that. DeckLink Duo 2 from Blackmagic is gonna allow me to run SDIs from all of my cameras directly into the computer, so that this way each one is its own camera feed and I don't have to worry about overloading the system. I guess we're just gonna pop it in just this guy right here. This is where it's gonna go. Here we go. Look at that. Perfectly slots in. Sort of. Kinda. Hold on. Is it in? I think it's in. There we go. Boom. Nice and easy. Ish. This is a fun little project, honestly. I love that for us. That's awesome. Cool. All right, so now we have the GPU cable, which has 4 breakouts. Please use 3 individual PCI cables from the power supply to avoid any potential issues. Please make sure to carefully align the power connector to the socket before plugging it in and ensure the connector clicks into place. Using force or any kind of bending may cause damage to the delicate connector end pins. And you don't want to be able to see the yellow, evidently. Boom, just like that. All right, let's rip this sucker open. I always see videos and pictures of all of the GPU cables going underneath, so I guess that's where this is going to go, right? Just like that. Boom, hear a little click, and then we have our GPU cables, which will bend underneath. All right, I think I'm ready to flip this guy right side up so I can start cable managing and making sure that everything's connected properly. Okay. That's a hefty boy right there. Look at that. That's exciting. Make sure there's no GPU sag. There we go, right there, right there. Kenji hairs. It's gonna happen. All right, a little bit has happened since I stopped recording before. I started getting some of the PSU, the power supply unit. I started mounting up the CPU wires and the GPU, and then I actually had to go to Discord, PC Master Race, and ask those guys a couple of questions because I wasn't sure if I should be running individual cables from the graphics card to the power supply unit, and it turns out that you shouldn't. You should run the high voltage power supply cable that comes with your power supply. We got to figure something out after this, the PC Master Race. You guys got to get like a little bit more cohesive terminology. I think it's because there are so many different manufacturers and different types of components that you can put into each thing, but man, it is not cohesive. So I can definitely understand why people stick with Apple and they never give this stuff a shot. I'm currently installing the Noctua fans on the top. I should have gotten 3, but you know what? It's cool. I'm gonna rock with 2 and just see how the cooling is on the actual unit. The cool thing about Noctua is they actually give you these little like butt things. They give you these little mounting pieces for anti-vibration and noise. So you pull these guys through and then you just pop them through on the case side and they don't move. So that's pretty cool. I really like that because then I don't have to worry about screwing it in because there was not enough clearance for me to get my hand in there. I should have done this before putting the motherboard in. But once again, you live and you learn, and this is my first PC build. Probably will not be my last because I am enjoying the process. It is actually fun. So I'm gonna mount it this way, I think. I'm gonna mount it like that. Boom. Just like that. That's not gonna fit like that though. That'll fit like that. Cool. Yeah, I think 2 of those guys will be good. And so basically what you do is you put whichever side that it's gonna go, it has a little F or a C. So you're gonna put the fan side up. So I'm just gonna drop these guys through because this is the way that it's gonna be oriented through the case. We're gonna pull this guy through. Boop. We'll do that for each corner. Pop. Now they did say you could cut these afterwards. I don't want to cut them, just in case I want to take them out, remount them somewhere else. I don't have to worry about buying new ones. Try to minimize the stress levels. Pop this guy through, pop. And then I'm just gonna put this guy probably about here. Whichever area makes the most sense. Probably right here. I feel like this would be good. This will vent out some of the graphics card, and we'll be good with that. Cool. So we pop one guy in, pop this guy through the bottom, lock it in place. Lock it in place. Lock it in place. Look at that. They're not going anywhere. So now we will get both of these fan headers and we will connect them this way. Cool. And I assume we're just gonna pop these guys back through here. Could be wrong, probably wrong, but I'll have to figure it out as I go and just see what makes the most sense. And boom, we got both of these guys coming through here. All right, so there's probably gonna be some type of time elapsing type meme that I'm gonna have to put before this, but I'm 99% sure that we are good. Had a couple of hiccups. I was trying to hook up all of the header units over here, the USB Type-C, the fan headers, these fans here, the fans that are connected through everything, and I had to route it all underneath the GPU and try to make it clean. I also had to take the GPU out a few times because I used the improper cable, hook it up to the PSU, and then I just had to cable manage everything in the back and just make it, whew, this thing's heavy. And just make it as tidy as possible. I think that's pretty good for my first time ever building a PC. Now, I will not lie to you guys. The header unit over here was already routed over here, and I just had to figure out how to route everything down through here. But I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm gonna wind up doing a double check on like a Linus Tech video or something like that and making sure that everything is where it needs to be and the check marks have all been checked. I'll close this guy up, and then from there I'll start the actual process of setting up the operating system, setting up all of my applications, programs, and making sure that everything actually does work. Stressful, but I'm kind of excited to see where we go and if it's going to turn on for the first time. Boom. Boom. Look at that. And now, let's turn this around for this. The grand reveal. Boom. Oh man, why do they put the sticker underneath that? That is so ridiculous. Oh, don't do that. Kenji's afraid of that sound. Kenji, that's one of the most mystical sounds on the planet. Oh, I know that this is not going to be a clean tear if I tear this off, and it's going to ruin my mood. And I don't have like Gooby Gone and stuff like that here. Oh my God. I'm so stressed right now. It's already starting. Oh man, it's already starting. Okay, we're leaving that. We're leaving that for now. Oh man, that sucks. That sucks so much. Okay. I don't even know if this is gonna fit on my desk. It's so heavy. I mean, I don't want it on the desk, but at the same time, I feel like airflow is best if I keep it up here. Okay, so power supply is connected. Hi, Bubba. What's up, Kenj? And I need an HDMI. I have plenty of those, so that'll be easy. All right, let's put this guy in the GPU. HDMI slot is right here. Let's plug this guy into HDMI 1. Wow, I gotta cable manage this. This is insanely horrific. Let's move this guy front and center. Let's turn on the HDMI on my monitor so I don't sit here and freak the hell out that it doesn't turn on. All right, everything should be and is connected. I'm gonna switch this guy to the input for HDMI 1. Okay, friggin' nervous. We're gonna flip the power supply on. Okay, I'm supposed to hit the delete key mad amounts of time. Where's the delete key? There it is. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. That doesn't sound good. That's the fan. Okay. Whoop. I was supposed to hit the delete key mad times, and I didn't. I got distracted by the fan sound. Here we go. Monitor's on. This thing's quiet. Oh, new GPU installed. Got it. Now I guess I just got to figure the rest of this out, which I'm going to do without everybody. Okay. So it's a success.